the second law of thermodynamics, extrapolated backwards, means that nature could not have always existed. Because entropy, which reflects that second law, says that energy disperses to where there is less. So originally, like over time, given enough time, energy will disperse to where there's an equilibrium, or in so far as that can be reached. So before that, there was a point at which all of the energy was as concentrated as possible. It has always been constantly, spreading out, losing its concentration, diluting, as it were. So ultimately, there was a point at which it was as concentrated as could be, and before that point, the second law could not have applied. Because how can you have entropy after which you have the maximum level of order concentrated possible? The heat birth, the opposite of the heat death, where there's a massive dispersal and equilibrium of energy. Therefore, the second law could not have applied. Therefore, the second law began to apply there. The second law describes energy's behavior. So if the second law did not begin to apply, neither did energy exist. So that is the point at which energy began to exist. That is the point at which nature began to exist. Energy and matter are intertwined. You can't have one without the other. So that is when nature began to exist. So the second law of thermodynamics, extrapolated backwards, proves logically nature had to have begun. Atheists can't say, oh, it always existed. Now, God can always exist because the reason we know things have a cause is by the cause and effect law, the law of cause and effect, which is an observation of things that are physical. So it's a physical law. It applies only to natural things necessarily, not to a supernatural agent like God. 1 minute left. All right, so I proved nature couldn't always exist. All right. All right, so hold on, let me open up my camera here. I was showing an excerpt of another video called Depression is Not a Disease, where I covered more than one thing. So I don't want to repeat myself because I think I said that well enough to make a separate video on that particular issue, the one that this title is about, for this video. But now let me cover one more thing. Which is that atheists claim. Hold on, the last thing I said was, atheists claim that you're trying to make an exception for God, special pleading. If atheists want God to be subject to the physical law of cause and effect. That's nonsense. They're just bitching for nothing because they're doing the equivalent of, hey, you rugby players need to follow golf rules because then it's difficult for you. Then you're in the same boat as us if you have to follow our rules. No, rugby players do not have to follow golf rules. A supernatural proposition like God does not have to be subject to a natural law, whether you like it or not. So, you're wrong, atheists, as always. Well, not as always. I mean, if you're against Islam, then you can have a point. The only time an atheist is right about religion is when they're attacking a false religion and deal with something that's erroneous in that religion. That's the only time that an atheist can be right about religion. Yeah, so I was an atheist as a baby. I grew up. You should also grow up. You should understand that atheism is the default position of ignorance, and it's based on willful ignorance, so it's the greatest blindness. Well, no reason to continue this video. Bye.